Paula Dean, Paula Patton.
Paula
Here
Patton.
we go.
Oh, Eddie
Cool.
Murphy to play the Godfather of Funk,
Ooh.
George Clinton in a biopic.
Can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't fucking wait.
this is gonna be dope, man. It said Eddie Murphy had a 3 picture deal with Amazon, coming off the success of Coming to America, and then he did
Oh,
the Rudy Ray Moore movie,
yeah,
and this is his third one that he's pushing out for Amazon. George Clinton.
dope, dope,
Yeah,
dope. Can't wait. I can't wait. Like I said, I hope he goes all the way in. You know what I mean? I hope he did his research. There's a lot of history there, man. A lot of ups and downs. You know what I mean? The dude lived a life, and
yeah.
he's the shit, man. He's the George is the backbone of our of the hip hop culture. You know,
Oh, big time, big
you know.
time.
Like I said, he should have been had. I mean, this shouldn't even be the first one. This should be like the
Yeah.
seventh, eighth, or whatever. It should be more than just Eddie Murphy, man. I want to see more, not just him. Bootsy, all those other guys who participated in that whole movement. Hey, I'm still waiting, man. The motherfucker said they was gonna do something for Roger Troutman. Come on, man.
Who's doing that?
Seriously? Snoop said he was gonna do something back when he first passed, man. Just think
He
about
was, man.
how many people sampled fucking Roger Troutman.
Yeah,
He's in that Mount Rushmore of fucking, of funk, George,
I
Roger.
mean, especially West Coast rap.
Yeah.
The underbed or
Thank you.
underbelly of West Coast hip hop music is Midwest funk.
Thank
yeah.
you.
G Funk,
Thank you. Thank
G
you.
Funk. Yeah, they
All
had
that, man.
the MIDI moogs and all that shit.
All that.
Yeah, they sampled and copied that style.
And then after a while they got smart and was like, hey man, these cats, it's not like Roger Troutman and them is touring and doing shit.
Right.
We can get them live. We could give them like $10,000 for a fucking session. You think California Love came, but they dropped him like 20 something, $30,000
That's dope.
and had the original, what I'm saying, fuck a sample. We could call the guy. We ain't got to get shit cleared. Bring his ass on. We could get the sample and put his ass in the video.
Fucking dope. Quick used his ass a lot too, didn't he? Not
Yes.
used him, but
Yeah.
Samples.
Quick.
collaborated with him a lot.
Quick don't get the credit that he does for bringing cats back out to the limelight. He fuck with Roger. He fuck with El DeBarge. You know what I mean? He made sure all those cats was right and put them in position. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. He doesn't get his flowers. He should too. He's just, to me, is just as pivotal as Dre is to the West Coast. DJ Quick is right there too.
I think he's above Dre, because Dre was throwing his name on quick shit.
Ha!
You know,
There
look
you
at
go.
that All Eyes on Me album, and
Gotta give
and
Dre
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
I got to give Dre the edge because he sampled Youngstown's own Leon Haywood. That I want to do something freaky.
Freaky too. Yeah,
yeah,
One,
yeah,
2, 3 into the 4.
yeah, man.
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
You know,
like I
it's
said,
all
man,
funk though, man.
I hope they go. I just hope they really go in. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how many runs, they're gonna give Mr. Clinton, his due. They were like, well, Eddie Murphy already did it, so we don't need to do it no more. That type of shit. But there's so many layers to this shit. You know what I mean?
Man, you ain't lying. You got to think this dude's been relevant since 1960. It's like the late 60s, where he was
Yeah,
writing for Motown.
yeah,
Uh, Jeez.
Early 60s, the Parliaments.
yeah. The Parlets,
Big
yeah,
group was
Parlets.
Parliaments. And then he had the writing deal, right?
Hmm.
They didn't want to put the big deal with put him on the big deal with the R&B group. So he said, "I'm gonna take the funk and make it nastier."
Mm,
hmm
Because he was into all the rock stuff and was like,
Yeah.
we could do that too. But instead of rock, he was like, it's gonna be funk. You know what I mean? That shit that that make your face turn a different way or whatever. You know what I mean? That's like, oh shit, that's funky. You know what I mean? And he played on it. If you think about all if you listen to old P Funk, it's that whole ism that Snoop is on,
mhm.
that's been on or whatever. Like Snoop said, if there was no Bootsy, there'd be no Snoop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? he said that, he gave him his flowers. And like, look, man, we got all our shit from y'all. It was just they were so far ahead of their time. Like him, again, I go back to Roger Troutman, Computer Love. Who the fuck was talking about that in the 80s?
Yeah.
Nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody could afford one. They were how much was fucking computers back in the 80s? And Roger was already on it. Like shit. I'm, the Moog, the talk box, all that shit.
Right.
It just gets regurgitated, and now you had the T-Pain era or whatever, and all of us, the old heads was like, shit, that's just Roger. All that shit is Roger.
I wonder how far they're gonna jump into like his drug use.
That part too.
That's
Yeah.
the most
That part too.
important part.
It has to be. It
Because
has to be.
as a musical mind, it's one thing, okay, you can compose, you can write, you can play an instrument or two, and you can vocalize, right?
Right.
You take that and then you say, hey man, I want you to play some Sinatra. And I want you, Bootsy, I want you to get it the funkiest church slash soul R&B bass line that you could just think of right now. And then I want you to play this. And they everybody's playing 3-4 different genres of music. And then he says, all right, slow it down or speed it up.
Yep.
And then I want you to change the tempo right at this point.
Yep.
And then go back to, that was George Clinton.
That was it. That was it in a nutshell.
He didn't even remember what he told the motherfuckers to do. He had to roll the tape back and listen to the whole session.
Why do you think like some of these songs, man, if you go back and listen, some of the songs are like 7 minutes and 15 seconds long. 7 minutes and 15 seconds long. I can't remember how long Knee Deep is, but it's fucking ridiculous.
It's like over 10 minutes.
Yeah, you sit there, that and Maggot Brain. Dude, if you in the studio, again, like Jay said, you in there fucking high as a kite, who's gonna say cut? Because everything sounds so fucking good. You think it was only 3 minutes. Dude, that's a 15-minute track. Motherfucker's still in there playing. I saw them live or whatever, and he did, and the guitarist did Maggot Brain. I wasn't high or anything, but yet I realized, I'm looking at my watch, man, this dude was playing for almost 10, 15 minutes for a fucking song.
Yep.
You know what I mean? People clapping, like, keep going, extend the fucking song. And I was like, damn, this song been on for almost 15 minutes. One song. But again, I hope they do touch on, the pitfalls of this.
Highly underrated, highly overlooked, and highly underestimated.
Yes.
Like even the message, the concept album. Come on, man. That's the concept album, man. Yeah. Cosmic Slop, Maggot Brain, America Eats Its Young.
Hey man, smell my finger.
Hey man,
Uncle Jam wants you. Come on, man. All that shit come out this man's head. You know what I mean? Like you said, how he heard something like Bootsy. Take us to church. You over here, let me get some of these females over here. What was that? Parlettes or whatever. I need y'all to, what I'm saying, do what y'all do. And he sat back like, y'all just go go in the studio and just start fucking playing. And I'll hit record and we'll come up with something. I know what to keep. I know what to let go.
He's the Quincy of funk, man.
Facts.
He's the Quincy of funk.
And that's why cats were mad at him, because they were like, I played that song for him. You know what I'm saying? I played that do 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 do. He's like do do, and they said George was like, do that shit again. Okay, keep doing that, and again, put the pieces together. Yep. But they didn't know how to do the credits, and that's where everybody got fucked. You know what I mean? They own these damn multi-platinum songs, but George put this fucking gumbo together. Nobody got their fair shake.
Right.
Till this day, they never got, like, hey man, I did the bass. I did, and George was like, man, we did everything. But I cut the check, and then George became, the facilitator. They said he started paying people in dope.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, I kept you high for that session for the past 3 days. That was your pay.
God damn.
You see what I'm saying? Like, he'll come through the studio session with that long nail. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. That was your pay for the week.
Motherfucker.
And again, it ended up getting him because he ended up having he signed away his royalties to like Atomic Dog, Flashlight, his biggest hits because he was high.
Now, I just heard Cameron dropping some game on a TikTok short. I'm gonna just leave it at that because it's
Okay.
out there right now. Every 8 years, the way you get your copyright back is you have to re-record a version of the same song that you composed. So even if you don't have your publishing and all that, they got 8 years to keep it. And after that 8 years, if you re-record it on your own, you don't have to split the profits with them, and they can't do shit about it, right? So I always wonder why George Clinton had all these recordings of the same songs that were hits from
Yeah.
30, 40.
Mm.
Hey, I mean, if that's true,
Boom.
it might be right because Ashanti just did that shit. She just got her publishing back from Murder Inc. or whatever. She's redoing all her music. So you're right. You might be onto something. That might be why. Because
Prince.
Irv Gotti's pissed. He was like, now people don't know which one to get, the one from Murder Inc. or the one from her. You know what I mean?
Shit.
You can't tell the artist that she can't do her fucking song over again.
Mm.
Exactly.
But I don't know how that's going to work because I remember what was that? What's that shit they do on BET about the artists that you kind of want to know what happened to them.
Where are they now?
Yeah, that type of shit. Montel Williams or Jordan. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Montel
okay.
Jordan. My fault. Big fuck up. But yeah, that this is how we do it. Sold it for like 50,000. His biggest hit. IRS came knocking. He had to cut the check. So I wonder if now if he could do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he doesn't own that. It was on that special, whatever. It was like, yeah, he was like, they came, I got a family, and it all hit at once. He was like, I had to sign that away.
Wow.
So I just look at the songs Prince was performing
Mm-hmm.
at his concerts and his Arsenio Hall appearances and his other late night.
Yeah.
Those were the songs that were A and B side hits during that time period when he had wrote Slave on his face.
Slave. Yeah. Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Because he asked him, he said, so wait a minute, I did all this music in my own house, in my own studio with my own equipment and instruments, and then I let you publish it. You took my publishing and now you say you own the masters. He said, so then what is the fucking reels that I have in my house? They said those are the slaves.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
If they own your masters, what you're left with is the
The
slave.
slaves. Got it.
God
Got it.
damn.
Said, man, this dude, they said Prince was the hardest person to work with because he played every fucking
Every instrument.
instrument. You can't tell him that the shit don't sound, this is what it's supposed to sound like. You're like, you know what? Just get the fuck out the way. I'll get on the drums. I'll get on the keys. I'll get on the vocals. I'll do the mix. Matter of fact, just get the fuck out. I'll do it. You know what I mean? So they said he was like that dude. You can't, what are you going to tell him?
Yeah. I mean, and man, you got guys that came after in other genres like Trent Reznor from Cleveland, 9 Inch Nails. He
Mm,
is 9 Inch Nails, but he pays a band to tour with him whenever 9 Inch Nails has a tour.
see?
But honestly, he is 9 Inch Nails because no one can produce the music,
Right.
write it the way he wants it written.
It's his sound.
They have to copy him playing it in order to tour with him because it takes too much time to figure it out while he's writing.
See, all of us are pretty much, we're heads to this, and we're pretty much trying to keep an eye on how this is going to play out, as far as how deep they're going to go. If they're just going to be like superficial, you know what I mean? Hopefully, they go and give this man his due and
Dude,
go
yeah.
and go in. I mean, I want to see everything. You know what I mean? From back when George was a barber, you know what I mean, until he got in and got down, until that infamous ride that Bootsy talked about, him and George was just rolling. They was tripping off of fucking LSD, and they saw the Mothership Connection.
Wow. That's high as a motherfucker.
And that's the story, man. That's how it came down. He was like, man, we was just rolling, and all of a sudden, it just came out of the sky, tripping off of
Wow.
fucking
Yeah.
LSD, and the rest is history, man. We got all that shit. Yeah, if you go back and check all the covers, all that is a fucking acid trip.
Yeah.
All that is the Bop Gun, Sir Nose, Star Child. Come on, man, them motherfuckers was tripping balls.
Yeah.
The story of a famous dog for a dog to chase his tail.
Man.
Yes.
Hey, I remember Groove had told me at one point that his dad was a roadie for
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say my Uncle Mike.
Probably, man. Midwest, man. That's where it came
2
from.
years, he told us. 2 years.
he said he walked in on a seance one time. These motherfuckers worshiping the devil.
Hey, man, I wouldn't put it past them, man. These cats was tripping on they did all the rock star shit.
You took
They
it
did
where I
all
was
that.
trying to avoid, Tech. I'm trying to be Hollywood, and you went.
Hey, fuck it. We got 293 subscribers.
Thanks.
So you look at Aqua Boogie.
Man, one of my favorites. Go ahead.
The mothership connection is coming from up. It's not going up, right? It's going down. He told my Uncle Mike, he said, Mike, I'm gonna take them underwater. He said, for what they did to me with my R&B group. He said, what you mean? He said, fuck this industry. I'm taking them underwater. He said, you know what's underwater, Mike? He said, the hottest point on earth is the core. The fastest way to the core is underwater. He said, they're going to all star in my motion picture. So you look at the lyrics, right? He says, Psycho,
God.
Alpha, Beta, Disco, Bio, Aqua Dulu. A motion picture underwater starring most of you, Lou. I never learned to swim. Can't catch the rhythm of the stroke. Why should I hold my breath? I might.
Oh my God!
Not get wet.
I never learned to swim. I never will swim. Man,
that was Sir Nose. He's taking them underwater. But he was so deep because he is so deep. He's talking about time loops, how people get stuck in a loop, how they see their self, right? He's like, you thinking you about to get in the water, I got to put on my bathing suit. He's like, nah, nigga, get on the ship. The ship flies. The ship swims too. What you mean? Air is another form of water. It's in a different state, as we were taught in science, right? So what goes up must come down.
Well, my man said, the bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. The bigger the doctor, the bigger the bill. These cats was kicking so much game. It wasn't even funny. Oh my God.
America Eats Its Young. Look at that title.
Man.
Song Maggot Brain. What is a maggot brain?
Love it. Love those dudes, man. They don't get the shine. They don't get the recognition of like the Rolling Stones and cats like that. You know what I mean? It's because it was set up for these cats to be tore apart, you know. Like we're gonna go after him, and there's nothing left for anybody to come back to and celebrate. You know, it instead of coming back as a group, they had to come back as like individuals. You know what I mean? Because that's how they did it. You know, George got into the Hall of Fame, and then I think P Funk, and then Bootsy or whatever. That's a collective to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one house. You know, that's like Wu-Tang. And then everybody went out. Like P Funk just come in and all the thousands of members. And like I said, it wouldn't even fit on stage. How many people who was actually there from the giddy up, you know. But I hope they do this with some
justice. I hope they do it.
Yeah, man. I hope they do it right because it's a lot to unpack.
He's a complicated figure in American history, and he deserves to be shown that respect in fiction. And I hope Eddie Murphy will push as far as he can, you know, with that envelope to represent his essence on film.
Yeah.
As far as the devil thing, like, all right, think about it like this. Like, well, I can't tell anyone how to think, but this is how I look at it now, being a little older. If everybody is telling you that the representative of good doesn't hold you in high regard and is not really favoring you over those who have you in a box or held below a certain rank in society, right? When you are on those substances and you start to see the alternate reality, one man's devil is another man's God. One man's
Facts.
God is another man's devil,
Devil.
right? So really, what he's doing is bringing heaven down and hell up, the flatline Earth to start reset. Those drugs do the reset. That's what you hear people. Oh, I took this one, I took that one, and I went back in my trauma, and I cried, and I expressed all this, and I saw what I didn't remember this happened, and now I'm on the other side. And I mean, look, look how many people now, and all these people are successful people. These people aren't on the streets, lost everything. Mike Tyson, he might
Right.
have lost everything in a sense, but he's not been on the streets. You look
Right.
at Joe Rogan, you look at these other people that are talking about these things, is why I'm saying these names. And George Clinton was been on him like, yeah, I was trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, all I do now is weed. It's like I'm
Right.
too old to be
You
fucking
know, to be
tripping
those other
on LSD, and like I'm just cool with fishing and smoking my weed. I'm good. I'm riding off to the sunset. I'm glad. I'm not dealing with the crack man no more. I'm
right,
good. You know what I mean? He's in a good place right now. Hopefully, everybody could give him his fucking flowers. That long overdue. Long overdue.
or
So strange to see him without that yarn in his hair.
All that dog. They said when he came back home to like Philly and shit, they were like, dude, take that shit off your head. You know what I mean? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? His friends, everybody back home was like, dude, nigga, you ain't on no stage. Take that shit off. Where the fuck you think you at? And he said that. So that's why it's so crazy that he don't have all the hair clips and all that shit in, man. But yeah, man, he's Dr. Funkenstein, man. That's just who he is, man. I love the character. And
yeah,
I love that he thought so far out of the box.
Yeah.
It was just amazing to me, man. There's so much creativity there, man. Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense, man. That all that could be in one fucking human being. All of that creativity.
Shit. Hey man, before you reach for that bottle, Ed,
Yes, sir.
we got one more. You got time?
Yeah, man. Swing it.
All right.